Hey everybody, welcome to another fabulous episode of Ask Andrea. So I have all these questions that came in. Let me see if this is all these questions that came into my website, Ask Andrea. If you go to my website, www.andreabeaman.com, on the sidebar is hi Donna Joy. On the sidebar is Ask Andrea, and people put in questions into my website, and then I answer them. I pick there's a lot of questions that come in, and I can't possibly answer all of them, but I'll answer as many as I can, and I'll also take some from the live feed for you guys that are here right now. So let's start. Let's start with some of these questions. So this one is from Nicky. Nicky says, I'm feeling better slowly as I follow the plan from your book. I guess she's talking about my thyroid book. But I still have a big weight gain since weaning off of thyroxine. Now I want your thoughts on how to lose it. I think it's from weaning. I'm still balancing out my thyroid. My TSH is coming down slowly after it was high. I guess it takes time. It's been a year now. I have not had a good appetite, slow digestion. Any thoughts? Also, she doesn't have any taste buds or taste. She eats 3 small meals, but it does not seem to help. As you say, hot food for digestion problem. Also, I have fish sauce. Okay, there's too many questions. So let's get to that she can't lose weight thing. Hi, Estie. Hi, Cheryl. So let's get to the can't lose weight thing. So she's feeling better. Thyroid is becoming normal, but she can't seem to lose weight. So this indicates a sluggish lymphatic system. So, a large majority of your lymph also lives in your digestive system. So movement is key to get that lymph moving, right? Because the only thing that moves the lymph is movement, literal movement. So walking stimulates peristalsis in the intestine. So you got to have it at least a daily walk. So some people will be like, I'm going to the gym 3 times a week or 4 times a week or whatever it is. But you need daily movement to keep the lymph healthy. So I'm a big fan of jumping jacks, daily walks. I like walking every single day. So it's raining for the past 3 days in Manhattan, but let me tell you, I get up in the morning, I go to Central Park because I know that I need movement. If I don't move my body, my lymph isn't going to move well, my circulatory system's not going to function well, I won't digest as well. So beyond food and beyond herbs and beyond supplements, you got to move your body, right? Every single day. Hi, Claudine. Hello, Diana. So keep up the great work. Nicky, you're feeling better slowly. Keep moving forward. You got this. You got this, sister. Okay, she says, this is a message from Chris. Chris says, yes, jumping rope. Julie, nice. Jumping rope is awesome, right? Because you're moving the lymph here. You're moving the lymph in the groin. Fantastic. Love you. Okay, so Chris says, I watched the show Desperate for a Miracle that was about you. And I would love it if you could tell me the place you visited that the guy told you to stop eating frozen dairy. I would like to look into that place. Yeah, this was almost 20 years ago. I was at a conference. It wasn't a place. I was at a conference. And it was Michio Kushi, and I had a large goiter. And Michio said, no frozen dairy. And I was like, what are you talking about? No frozen dairy. At the time, I was eating Ben & Jerry's frozen yogurt every day. Right? Not healthy. So he told me to stop eating. Now, the Kushi Institute is actually closed. They closed down, I guess, 2 years ago. But you could get a lot of the information from that. Like Michio Kushi has a book, The Book of Macrobiotics. Fantastic book. All about connection to the universe. So I would suggest you pick up one of those books. He passed away a couple years ago. He was a really good teacher. I liked him a lot. Okay, so I'll take one question from you guys live because you're here. Hi, Devi. Diana says, my 5-year-old has been on synthroid since birth, now 5, and I would like to, I can't seem to get that one to pop up. I would like to start regulating his thyroid with iodine instead. That's pretty smart. I've noticed some concerning side effects from synthetic, that's going away again. Some concerning, I can't seem to get this to pop up the right way. It's trying to give me a funny face or a sad face or an angry face. So let me, I can't get to the bottom of your questions. So you guys keep your questions short. For some reason, this new thing where you can put an emoji everywhere, Hello? Do I need an emoji? Do I need an emoji for everything? Come on, Facebook. Come on, world. Just let me answer a question. So I'll put a little like on there so I can try and see. It keeps popping up. Lord have mercy. So anyway, I'll get to the first half of your question. Yes, you can start incorporating iodine, but I wouldn't do iodine supplements. Like, they can have a negative effect, especially on the thyroid and on the digestive system, as well as the rest of the body. So I would suggest iodine-rich foods. So iodine-rich foods, sea vegetables, dairy, as long as he doesn't have a goiter, right? Good quality fermented dairy, kefir, yogurt, if he could process them. Capers, pickles, these are all iodine-rich foods. So I would suggest that instead of iodine that comes in by itself. You always want to have the things that come with the food to make it more absorbable. So, and this is the same for probiotics, for vitamins and minerals. You could certainly take stuff in the short term, but in the long term, you're going to have an accumulation that happens in the body. And it's maybe not so good. So let me take another question that came in onto my website. If you go to my website, www.andreabeaman.com, on the sidebar is the Ask Andrea. I'll get to these questions like once a month, sometimes once every 2 months. And a lot of them come in, so I just go through and try and get to as many as I can. And then I'll get to your questions too. So Angel says, when are you coming to Philadelphia? Actually, I don't know. I was in Philadelphia last year for a pretty cool conference. Maybe I'll go again this year. But anytime that you want to know where I'm going to be, go to my website, andreabeaman.com, go to the events up in the sidebar, and it'll tell you all the stuff that I have coming up. So, for example, I have something coming up at Omega Institute in August. It's not Philadelphia, but it's Rhinebeck, New York, and it's a weekend workshop. It's a lot of fun on seasonal eating and protecting the microbiome and supporting your body and connecting you to the earth. It'll be a lot of fun. Okay. So let me take another message from here. Estie says, I've been doing the red clover tea, violet leaf, burdock, and dandelion tea to shrink my tumor. Oh, I can't get to the bottom of that one either. Actually, let me see if I could pull it up on... Let me see if I could pull it up here on my computer rather than my phone, because this is not, this phone is not behaving. And I'd love to be able to get to your full questions and not just a little piece of your question. Like, it keeps telling me, pick an emoji. For what? For what? Why do I need an emoji? I'm right here with you. I'm looking at you. You're looking at me, right? So let me go to that feed. I'll turn off the volume here so I don't hear me all over the place. And let's see what we got. Okay. Live video. You gotta love technology, right? Surrounded by computers. There I am right there. Okay, so let's look at the comments. So I can get to... Oh, it's so funny. I can't. I can only watch it live, so let me go to the live thing. I can't even look at the comments without watching it live. Oh gosh, the control is unbelievable. So I'm going to put this on, and then I'll be able to see the comments. Okay, so I can't even see the comments. That's so funny. I gotta love this stuff. So I'll try. I've been trying to shrink my tumor. I'll give it another like, see if it'll let me go. Nah, Estie, it won't let me go. If you could put it into one sentence, right? One sentence, that'll be great. Because it won't let me pull up the comments here, and it won't let me pull up the comments here. Like, every time I try to pull up a comment here, I get a silly emoji face. Huh? And then every time I try to pull up the comment here, it won't let me. Oh! Yeah, great, thank you, Estie. So she says, why am I itching from the teas? Okay, so when you're trying to shrink a tumor, right, your body's going to break it down. It's going to break down the proteins and the fats and whatever else is causing the tumor to grow. So you're doing red clover, you're doing burdock. These are great because they're pushing things out, right? They're alternatives. They're pushing things out. So where is it going? It's going to go into the lymph. It's going to try and be pushed out of the body. And a lot of times, the skin will be affected. So people will have itching on the skin if the lymph isn't being cleared. So again, you want to exercise, Estie. Here's where you want to exercise. You want to clear I would also suggest going into a hot sauna, a steam room, opening up the pores, releasing everything. You want to get the body moving, move everything out in a nice manner, right? So you're doing the tea, which is fantastic. Keep up the great work. And now do some clearing, like literal clearing. Exercise, take a run, move your body, move all of your systems, get them running and flowing so that your body starts to really detox, really discharge. So that would be great. So let me take another question from here. And this is from Eugenia, and Eugenia says, hello, dear beautiful Andrea. My name is Eugenia, your former student. I healed my beautiful thyroid through your awesome class. Yay! She says, I'm grateful forever. My question is, what is your opinion and experience with drinking Chaga Mushroom Tea? Thank you very much. Okay, so she's talking about my Nourishing Thyroid program, which the next one starts in October. And it's a lot of fun. We go through all the different bodily systems, the digestive system, the nervous system, your chakra system. So she wants to know my experience with drinking chaga. I had a great experience with drinking chaga, and I recommend it to all of my clients that have lung cancer. And one of the reasons is that chaga is it's a great detoxifier, but also mushrooms in general help to break down cells. Okay, so let's take a step back. Mushrooms in the wild, in nature, help to decompose dead and dying things. So energetically, let's look at mushrooms in the physical body. So if somebody has cancer, what is cancer? Cancer is a cell that is, it's a cell that is refusing to break down, right? A cell that is refusing to die. A cell that is not benefiting the body. It's mutagenic. I think it's the P53 gene is not functioning properly, so there's no death of that cell. So this is where mushrooms come in really handy, because mushrooms decompose things that should be dying, right? So if you go into the woods on dead and decaying things, or things that are supposed to be dying, you'll see mushrooms start to grow and proliferate. Proliferate. Right? Mushrooms will pop up all the time because they are there to decompose things. So I do recommend for anyone with cancer to get some of those medicinal mushrooms into the body. So especially chaga, great for the lungs, great for the skin. It's used for specifically lung and skin cancer. Not so much. Shiitake is wonderful for the liver and for liver cancer, but it's not really in tea form. So a lot of people are doing the teas, like all those mushroom teas. I think they're great. But like there are other mushrooms that you can actually eat. Maitake, shiitake, those are great. All of the enoki, mushrooms are amazing in what they do. And some people are scared of mushrooms because that's what they do. They decompose things. But I would suggest that we need to have decomposition that happens in our body. When that process stops, you're going to have a proliferation of cancer cells. So I do recommend chaga mushrooms. Now I'll tell you my experience with chaga. I started drinking chaga about 4 or 5 years ago. I wanted to try it. I wanted to feel its effect in my body. And I was doing just plain chaga. I was decocting the chaga for 3 hours. And then drinking it every day, 2 to 3 times per day. And I did this for 2 weeks. And within that 2 weeks, I felt a very serious depression, right? A serious depression come where I was like, I don't want to get out of bed. God, I hate the world, right? All this depression. So chaga affects the lungs. And in Chinese medicine, that's where depression lives. So that may have been a very old depression that was living here, emotional depression that was living here for some reason. We all get depressed at certain times of our lives, and sometimes we can hold on to stuff, we can release it. So definitely it does affect the lungs. I felt it in my own body physically. So check it out and see where it affects you. But classically it is lung and skin. Okay, let's see what else we got. Thanks, Elizabeth. She's reading my Happy Healthy Thyroid book, and it's truly amazing and very informative. Thanks. And put in the question into one sentence if you can. because the ones that came into my website, Ask Andrea, www.andreabeaman.com, the questions that came onto my website, I could see the whole thing, but on the video, live video feed, I can only see this little bit. And when I went to try and do it on the computer, I could only see like one thing at a time, and it wasn't giving me all the questions. So let's see what we got here. This one's from Ozzy. Ozzy says, hi Andrea, I had to remove part of my thyroid. Wow, there's a lot of thyroid stuff going on. Part of my thyroid in 2015. I've been on synthroid since then. I've never feel like myself again until I started IIN and found you and listened to your video presentations and read your book about healing the thyroid. I stopped my medicine about a month ago without my doctor. I feel much better and more energized and lighter in my body and happier all over. I just want to know if there are specific foods that I have to eat every day to make sure my half of my thyroid gets nourished enough. Okay, so you're doing great. Make sure you're eating iodine-rich foods. Seasonal eating is very important for the thyroid because remember, and this is for any disease. Any disease, I recommend that people eat seasonally, as well as if you're feeling out of balance, right? So when you get your internal environment in harmony with the external environment, things heal quicker. You're more apt to be able to, you'll be more resilient. You know, according to the ancient sages and the ancient shamans, we're directly connected to the earth that we're living on in very deep ways. And, you know, I believe that one of the reasons why we're so far out of balance and our microbiome is completely out of balance is because we're not eating locally and seasonally, but we're eating everything any time of the year. And this is very important to keep in mind because just like what you said, what do I need to eat every day to make sure that my thyroid is getting nourished? First thing you have to do is get connected back to your environment where you live and start to eat the foods that are in that environment. It doesn't mean that you can't eat something outside that environment. But what that does is you're going to get the bacteria from that environment that's living in the soil. You're going to get the food that naturally grows at that time of year that is living in the soil, that is connected to that part of the climate, and this is going to go into your system. So I'm just doing a paper on this now. You know, like everybody's crazy about microbiome this and microbiome that, right? And one of the things that feeds the microbiome, believe it or not, when they did that test on the tribe in Tanzania, their microbiome changed with the seasons. Right, so they had the healthiest microbiome on the planet. They had the most diverse amount of microbes in their system on the planet. And what did they do? When the seasons changed, they changed their diet. The microbiome changed within their body. So I cannot emphasize enough to start eating locally and seasonally to support your body, your endocrine system, your nervous system, get you grounded, get you connected, and get you feeling healthier and happier more often than not. It doesn't mean that sickness isn't going to come. It doesn't mean that you won't ever come into depression. It doesn't mean any of that. It just means that you're going to be more resilient and able to handle things because your body's going to have the strength that it needs physically, on the physical plane, right? In the physical plane and the emotional plane, there's no disconnect, right? It's all connected. Okay, so let me come back here. Let me see if you guys put in one question. Oh, that's funny. Jasmine put in just the same question. What do I need to eat every day to make sure my thyroid gets nourished and put my lupus into remission? Okay, so lupus is autoimmune, right? So again, you have to connect to your local environment. You have to connect to the bacteria and the microbes that are in the soil within your environment to help balance your system. So an autoimmune condition like lupus, your body is saying, hey, I'm out of balance. Hey, something's not right here. So keep that in mind and do the best that you can. You know, like join a CSA, come to my workshop at Omega. That'll help you understand how to really nourish the body because it's going to change. There's not one thing that you're going to eat every day, right? I could tell you, go eat your kale and go eat your sardines, right? Go eat this and go eat that, but it's not true. It's going to change all year round. Oh, thanks, Michelle. Your diet's going to change all year, every season, and this is very important for healing. And I know I've been talking about this for 20 years now, but it's so important to connect with your environment, eat locally, eat seasonally as much as you can, right? It doesn't mean you can never have a thing that grows somewhere else, but as much as you can, because that's going to support your microbiome, it's going to support your endocrine system, it's going to support your digestive system and your overall health and well-being, right? So wherever you live, connect with that food, eat that food. Okay, let's see. Oh, here, Debbie has a question. She says, I have a big problem with my liver. It's fatty. Welcome to the world, Debbie. Welcome to the world. My liver is enlarged and very painful. I asked my doctor what he can do, and he says there's nothing I can do. Oh boy, you gotta get a new doctor. So Andrea, what can I do? It's getting worse, not better. I also have high blood pressure, IBS, thyroid problems. I can't get my medication regulated. I need your help, and I have no trust in doctors. Will you help me? Okay, so I'll help you the best that I can. Fatty liver, you know, you don't mention if it's alcoholic fatty liver or non-alcoholic fatty liver, but either way, there's too much sugar in your system, either sugar or carbohydrate or alcohol or something in the system. Debbie, so for a fatty liver, I do recommend a gentle liver cleanse. Grated beets, apple, lemon juice, and olive oil every day, 14 days, right? That'll be your breakfast every day for 14 days. And that should help to start to reduce or put the liver into, you know, it's almost like a gentle liver cleanse. You could certainly do a strong liver cleanse, and I have those on my website. But if it's enlarged and very painful, I wouldn't suggest doing a really hard liver cleanse with that, what you have going on right now. That you don't want to worsen your problem as you're trying to heal it. So you want something gentle right now. I would also start immediately with milk thistle, probably 3 to 4 times per day, milk thistle. Like I said, reduce your carbohydrate load and your sugar and your alcohol. You know, on the emotional plane, right, you said that you have high blood pressure. So on the emotional plane, meditation, start to calm down, chill out. Margaret says, she just put in, what should I expect from a liver cleanse? Well, you should expect improved health, sister. So you'll expect from a liver cleanse, a gentle one, like the one I just said. And I'll post something like that up on my website because I have some real serious liver cleanses. But those strong liver cleanses are only for people that are in general good health. Right? You just want a clearance of the liver. But if you're in, like what this gal has, enlarged fatty liver, very painful, you don't want to do one of those gallbladder flushes or liver flushes because that's going to exacerbate the problem and make it worse. You want something gentle. So you can expect that the liver heat will cool, the inflammation will cool, digestive system will start to function better because, you know, the liver is beginning stage of the digestive system. If it's not functioning well, your whole digestive system is going to be off. Bloating, gas, not feeling well, hot flashes, heat, wandering pains. When the liver's out of balance, you'll get wandering pains. You'll get like, woo, pain over there, ooh, pain over there, oh God, pain over there, right? As well as pain under your right rib cage. Yes, Devi, that's correct. Every sickness is reversible. I agree. Okay, so let me take another question here. This one is from Kathryn. Kathryn says, hi, Andrea. Thank you for your generous support. You're welcome. Sugar. She says, do you think Bragg's nutritional yeast flakes is a healthy food to enjoy 3 to 4 times per week? If you have an autoimmune or thyroid condition, I love it. On organic air-popped corn with extra virgin olive oil and sea salt. Thanks. Well, if you love it, continue eating it, but I don't know that I would have popcorn 3 to 4 times per week. Okay, so there's a couple of reasons here. And I love popcorn. I'm a popcorn girl myself. But 3 to 4 times per week. So think about the energy of popcorn. Now let's look at energetics, right? The energy of popcorn is you take the kernel, it's dried, all the moisture is taken out, and then it's put into a really high heat and it explodes. So with an autoimmune condition, there are little explosions happening in your body all the time, right? Lots of inflammation. So with an autoimmune condition, I wouldn't have popcorn 3 to 4 times per week. Like, I'm not even talking about the nutritional yeast here. I'm talking about the energetics of that food in your body. It's hot, it's dry, it's explosive. It's fun, it's a fun food. You could feel highly energized after some popcorn. But 3 to 4 times per week with an autoimmune condition, I wouldn't eat it. At least, you know, I would bring it down to 1 time per week. And again, think about energetically. You want to cool inflammation. I mean, if you want anything 3 to 4 times per week, I would go with a nice salad, right? You know, fruit, something that's more cooling to your system. Okay, let's see. Somebody says, Devi says, do I need to pay for your information or do I need to buy any of your books or products? I do not have any resources. Devi, you're here today too as well. There's a ton of information on my website, ton of information in my books. Also, my books are downloadable. So like you could get them for like $9. There's free information all over my website. So you can find a lot of stuff that can help you on your path to healing. And then when you're ready, come and join me for a class. Come and join me for a workshop. Come and join me online for a program, because that's when you're going to get that hand holding, right? You're going to get the hand holding you need and the direct guidance and support that you need. But in the meantime, do all the stuff that you can. Get all the free stuff that you can. It's available for you. It's always available for you. I had somebody send me an email just the other day and they said, you know, thank you for always putting your stuff out there for the world to see. You know, and I say, you know, of course, I'm here on the planet. I want to share with my brothers and sisters. And I also want to make some money in the process. So when you're ready, Debbie, start saving up your pennies. Come and join me at a workshop, at a retreat. Come and join me online. I'd be happy to walk you through anything that you got going on. Nadia has a great question. She says, why do people have knee problems and knee pain? Okay, so I'm a big fan of traditional Chinese medicine. And knee problems and knee pain, this is a couple of things. The first is you have to look to the kidneys. So there could be a serious kidney deficiency, or it could be a spleen stagnation, meaning the digestive system is not working well. Stomach, spleen, pancreas is overwhelmed, too much. So you have to look at your body, right? How do I feel? Are my knees getting swollen and bloated? Then you know that you're having spleen, stomach, pancreas problems. But if they're not getting swollen and bloated, but instead when you're walking on them, there's just this deep inner pain, then that's a kidney deficiency. So with that, you want to actually nourish bone stocks, beans, lots of wonderful proteins, bean protein, meat protein, right, to build up that kidney energy. But if you're on the opposite side and they're getting swollen and bloated like this and you're feeling dense and heavy, then you have to free up the digestive system. I would use bitters, chamomile tea, just start to move things along because something is stuck. Okay, so let's see. We're gonna have to wrap this up in just a few minutes. I know I started late because I couldn't get the video to work on Facebook. So, you know, and then on here I couldn't get the questions. So something's going on with the internet world today. Well, I think somebody put something out that, you know, Mercury in retrograde have 7 times, I don't know, but it's something going on in the universe that's bigger than just this little internet. Okay, so Colleen says, hello, you're so inspiring and motivating. I love hearing you share your story. I'm currently enrolled in IIN, and I just wanted to reach out and let you know how much I appreciate your empowering words of wisdom. My boyfriend is currently attending Palmer College of Chiropractic in Daytona Beach, Florida. If you are ever in the area, we would welcome you speaking. Thank you for your wonderful outlook on health and life and sharing it with us all. Colleen, thank you for that, to you and your boyfriend. Big hugs and a whole lot of love. You guys are on a great journey and you're going to help a lot of people. Anytime that you want to reach out to me for speaking gigs, send an email to info@andreabeaman.com and we'll connect and see what we can do. That's always a lot of fun. Thanks, Margaret. Thanks, Cynthia. So Anne says, I love your website. I wanted to know where you learned to become a natural food chef. Would be amazing if you could send me the website for it. Okay, so I learned how to become a natural food chef by going into my kitchen. So I didn't have any formal training. I had sickness, and sickness drove me into the kitchen. If it wasn't for sickness, I would still be out partying and drinking and drugging in the streets. But sickness drove me into the kitchen, and I really learned how to make food. So it started with my mom's illness. She had cancer many years ago, and I started studying macrobiotics and the connection to food and medicine. And then with my own sickness, I started eating all the best food that I could find and studying ancient medicine and ancient healing medicine. Hi, Christine. And that, you know, kept me going back into the kitchen. I started to understand the connection between food and healing, and I had a closer and more intimate relationship with food. So when I was first on my my coaching journey, and I was you know, a health coach in the beginning, I used to go and cook for people in their homes, and I had celebrity clients, and I had a lot of clients, and I would cook for them in their home. But one thing that I noticed was that the people that I cooked for didn't get as healthy, not as healthy, but it took a longer time for them to heal than the ones that were cooking for themselves. So the ones that I taught how to connect with the food and how to cook for themselves had a deeper understanding of food, and they healed quicker and their energy came back quicker. Whereas the people that I cooked for, you know, I would just go in with a key, go into their home and just cook and leave the food. They didn't have an understanding of the food and how it impacts their body and the energetics of the food, so they had a different healing process. So that taught me a lot of stuff. And so I stopped cooking for people. It had to be about 5 years into my journey. I was like, okay, I'm not cooking for people anymore. I want to teach them how to connect with food and how to cook for themselves, because that's where the journey really, really comes to fruition for them, right? Not saying that people who don't cook for themselves can't heal. They can. It'll just take a longer time, and they won't have that deep connection to their food and to the cycles and the seasons, right? So that's why I teach the stuff that I do, because I know that when people connect back to the earth, back to the cycles, back to the seasons, back to their food and the energetics of food, they have a much deeper healing. So I know I got off track with that one. And if anybody wants to join me, I'm teaching a workshop in Omega about that, like how to use the energetics of food and all that stuff. And that's at Omega in Rhinebeck, New York in August. It'll be a lot of fun. It's a weekend workshop. All your meals are prepared for you by the Omega people, but you're going to learn about the energetics of food and seasonal eating and all that stuff. But so becoming a natural food chef, I didn't have formal training. And it started by getting into my kitchen, but there are a lot of places that you can get formal training if that's what you want. So there's a Natural Gourmet Institute in New York City. I mean, I think they're great. One of my heroes was the founder of that school. Her name was Amory Colbin. Her books were, I just loved her books. When I was first starting my healing journey, I was like, oh my God, this information makes so much sense, right? But at the beginning of my healing journey, I didn't have any money to go to school and learn that stuff. So I was just getting into the kitchen and studying through books. And then I would take one-off classes here and there at different institutes. But that was how I became a natural food chef. So by law, I can't really call myself a chef, a classically trained chef, even though I was on Top Chef and I could do chefing gigs all over the place, and I even taught at the James Beard House. I don't know if I could legally call myself a chef, although I am a chef. I'm just a homeschooled chef. And it's interesting because Tom Colicchio is also a homeschooled chef. He initially got into the kitchen just by getting into the kitchen. So that's something to keep in mind. Okay, so let's see. Let me take another. Oh yeah, Margaret, hi. She says, love you, looking forward to seeing you tomorrow with Lisa Lutan and Michelle on Healthy View Radio. We do a radio show every Thursday at 12 Eastern. It's a lot of fun. You could go to healthyviewradio.com. Michelle is on vacation this week, so she's playing hooky. She's not going to be there. But me and Lisa will be there. Okay, I'm going to take this last question, and then it's 1:45, so I'm going to hop off. Patricia says, I'm currently reading your book. I love it. I have elevated TPO antibodies with underactive thyroid. I've been trying to conceive but unsuccessful. I would love recommendations on foods to reduce antibodies. Okay, so you have to see, first of all, do you have any antigens or pathogens in the body, right? If you have high antibodies, then you have to say, okay, something's in my system that shouldn't be in my system because my body is attacking, right? So do you have a pathogen? Do you have parasites in the digestive system? Do you have an old virus that's active, EBV, herpes, right? And you have to bring those viral loads down in order to reduce the antibodies. So to bring the viral loads down, I recommend lemon balm, cat's claw if you have parasites. I love cat's claw. I love also black walnut if you have parasites, right? Those two are my favorites. But lemon balm and licorice root for any of the herpes virus to help reduce those viral loads. So you want to reduce your viral load. And when you reduce your viral load, your thyroid will come back up online, right? So you might have an autoimmune thyroid condition. But something is causing that autoimmune reaction inside the body. So that's my Ask Andrea for today. I want to thank you guys and gals for coming out to join me and ask your questions here and ask your questions there. So for those of you that want your full question answered next month, go to my website, www.andreabeaman.com, and there's an Ask Andrea on the sidebar. Put your question in. I'll try and get to it next month. For those of you that want to join me, come hang out with me for a weekend, a whole weekend. We're going to do yoga, we'll do meditation, we're going to do cooking, we're going to do a lot of fun stuff. That's at, that'll be in Rhinebeck, New York at Omega Institute, and you can go to my website, www.andreabeaman.com, and click on the events, and you'll see the Omega event there. It'll be a fun weekend. You're welcome, everybody. You're welcome, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for your time and your energy and your love. And if I don't speak to you from now until the end of the summer, have a wonderful summer. Okay, bye everybody.